7 international observers being held captive in eastern Ukraine have been freed. They were kidnapped last week by pro-Russian insurgents who've also taken control of several government buildings in the region. The release comes in the wake of violent fighting, and as Brian Moore reports, the leader of the insurgents says the situation is too volatile to hold hostages.
After spending more than a week as the prisoners of pro-Russian militants, a team of international observers was freed today in eastern Ukraine.
Enormous effort.
Some were diplomatic in describing their captivity.
We have been treated as good as possible. This is a miserable situation.
The peacekeepers were pawns in an escalating showdown between Kiev and Moscow and the stalemate between Russia and the West. Their release is seen as a potentially hopeful sign because it was brokered by a top ally of Russian President Vladimir Putin. Still, it follows the bloodiest day yet in the month-long uprising of pro-Russian separatists. As Ukrainian forces stepped up their campaign to crush the rebellion, the pro-Russian population fought back with everything it had. On this road, separatists tried to push back tanks with their bare hands.
We want them to leave, that's it. We don't have weapons, we don't have anything.
The Ukrainian government says 2 of its helicopters were shot down over Slavyansk and claimed ground-to-air missiles were to blame. Ukraine remains a country on edge, divided by support of Russia and by checkpoints. An all-out battle for control in the streets of the southern port city of Odessa shows that if this country hasn't slipped into civil war, it is teetering on the brink. Militants retreated to a trade building that went up in flames. The death toll today said to be above 30. ITV reporter James Mates is on the ground in Ukraine.
Yesterday's dreadful events in Odessa was a moment in which this country looked into the abyss. There is no sign yet that, having seen what it saw there, it's decided to step back.
During a lull in the fighting today, residents mourned the dead, laying flowers and saying prayers for the loved ones they lost and for the country they're trying desperately to keep. Brian Moore, Global News, Washington.